Hey everyone, so I'm here with Billy the Anti-Bully, and I understand the Kumate community is also watching. So if you're watching from Tonka's channel, hi there. So before we begin, let's talk how this started. I remember on New Year's, you Jim, you pushed me a little bit. You pushed me to debate an artist. You did this. I remember. You did this, uh, and I took the bait. I completely agree. And now I was seeing that people were pushing you to make a video about JF, and I poked you a little bit, and it escalated, and here we are.
Yeah. Here we are. So I thought we could talk about just what you've been saying and kind of, I guess, your behavior over the last 30 days.
Okay,
Because
fair
I
enough.
think you're self-destructing.
I think so.
And I don't know why you're doing it. So maybe somebody has to explain this to you. I guess I can try.
Sure. I mean, go ahead. How do you view things?
I think you become obsessed with the cow board, and I think you're attributing a political motivation for their behavior. The cow board has pre-existed the alt-right online as you know it for years now. It's jumped between different hosting sites. It's been on 789chan, 888chan, now it's on 8chan. It's always been dedicated to fucking with people that spurg out. Anytime they get a reaction, they're going to follow through with it. And for the last 30 days, you've been giving them nothing but reactions. And so it just continually escalates because you're feeding into that. I mean, you're doing what Chris Chan would do, or DSP would do, or any of those kind of figures would do. And the more you say, these are the alt-right that are targeting me, these are the bad guys that are coming after me, the more they're going to play into that. They're gonna call themselves that. They're gonna talk about that. They're gonna say execute order 88V. We're coming for you. Now you said you've stopped talking about it, but you haven't. I saw you did a stream a few days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago, where in the opening of your stream you said, press 1 in the chat if you're alt-right, I'll answer your questions. Or press 1 in the chat if you're from the cow board, I'll answer your questions. So I mean, you're directly addressing them. You're interacting with them on Twitter. You're posting screen caps from the board. You're going on live streams and talking about them. You're doing videos and talking about them. When I put that blood sports video up, I thought that was enough of a hint for you to figure out what I was trying to say to you, which is the same fucking thing I said to you when you were interacting with harmful opinions and freaking the fuck out. You need to recognize that there are different groups on the internet with different ideologies and mentalities and in-group preferences and their own fucking language and their own fucking culture. And you have stepped in a pile of shit because these people like to fuck with people and they're going to do it however it's going to get them laughs. And it's like you can't let that go. Like you've gone off on a tangent related to this. That's my assessment of it.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment. I mean, I had a discussion with Tonka last night. I don't know if you got it. Did you manage to see the Twitter interaction between me and him?
I watched you two go at it. There's shit about what you said I wanted to talk about too. But yeah, no, I did see your interaction with him.
Yeah, and I do think he has a point. I guess it's because that I'm getting a little bit of echo, by the way.
Okay.
Is it? But let's see if it's better. All right. Yeah, so I've been on the internet quite a while, and I do see people react to trolling, and usually it's like, turn that shit off. You know, I think everyone agrees that, you know, like the Total Biscuit type of whining, it's like, oh, there's trolls on the internet, just turn that shit off. And I honestly don't mind the type of trolling that just is on the internet and you can just ignore it. But when it goes to like reporting someone for hate speech laws or contacting someone's boss on a CV, for instance, or sending shit that would get someone's mother to be incredibly scared. And the thing is, like, I wasn't exposed to this kind of trolling up until now. And apparently Tonka was exposed as well. He told me that he got his show flagged and stuff. And it's the way he handled it kind of, I guess, told me that I need to be a little bit tougher about this shit. It's like, just try to go without letting it get to me.
Yeah, well, this type of trolling has existed forever. I mean, whether or not you're accustomed to it or not. But I mean, for somebody that constantly and you do this, for somebody that constantly brings up Gamergate and nearly any other circumstance that he's able to do it in a conversation, it's weird to see you. It's weird to see you and others start saying, "Oh, don't go on Bloodsports. Everybody's getting doxxed. Don't associate. It's an alt-right platform. You're going to get doxxed if you go against the narrative," because that's the same shit that Zoe and Anita and Brianna Wu were saying. I'm running from sniper fire from my house because the Gamergators are coming to get me. And here you are making that same fucking blanket statement. They're all alt-right. That's who's targeting. It's the alt-right doing it. It's the blood sports community that's doing it. No, V, you picked a slap fight with the cowboard, and now the cowboard has set its sights on you and a few others, and they're going to keep poking and prodding because you keep giving them a reaction.
I mean, that's a fair assessment, but I would say during Gamergate, I was a member of the hashtag GG Police. I don't know if you remember it.
No, I don't, because this sounds like it's going to get incredibly faggy on me. Tell me what the GG Police did, V. What did they do?
Well, the feminists were constantly complaining that they were getting harassment, right? And people on Twitter used the hashtag in order to report any harassment that feminists were getting, so they would get no harassment and they would have to make their own shit up. And usually they were caught when they were making their own shit up, and they were ridiculous. And we also managed to, I believe, catch this guy who was harassing Anita Sarkeesian. Turned out he was a game journalist from Brazil, and he was sending her harassment in order to push a particular narrative. So the difference that I would say during Gamergate is that there were actually people that were trying to stop it. Like, I mean, who else was on? Someone actually made a video where they linked to the FBI if people target Anita. I think it was Sargon, right? So when he was accused that, oh, you're in cahoots with this shit, he was like, no, just a link to the FBI, right, on my channel that says anyone who sees any harassment, just call on it. And there was like this active push against harassment during Gamergate.
Oh, no, I remember that faggotry. Yeah. The PR optics shit. Yeah, no, I remember that. That worked out real well, by the way. Okay. Didn't you go on to talk with Worski and Tonka? Didn't they say, oh, we don't agree with this, we feel bad for you, you shouldn't be getting doxxed and harassed? But yet I see you continually go on, and other people continually go on.
Yeah,
saying the same thing. Saying, we're getting harassed, don't go around that neighborhood, it's a bad neighborhood. So how is what they did any different than the GG Police, where they're saying, we don't agree with this isn't us?
I don't think I ever blamed Tonka or Worski for, and if I did, then I'll take it back, because after last night, I did do a lot of thinking, and after having the discussion with Tonka, and I agree that this did get a little bit to me, and I became a little bit more radical when it came to internet blood sports, and I said some things that weren't charitable, and I talked with Tonka, and I think we evened it out. But the thing is, I'm not saying it's Kao. I'm not saying it's Achan. But you have to realize that there has been a pattern of people that are going against the alt-right on the internet blood sports, and they're immediately being poked by the trolls.
I didn't see Tariq Nasheed get any shit after his debate with Jared Taylor.
Okay, that's one. But for instance, what's the Jewish guy's name? Let me. Do you remember his name? Yeah. He got shit. Yeah. Like for instance, last time I went on Internet Blood Sports, I actually had a really nice time talking with Richard Spencer. Did you get to see that engagement?
No, I've been busy doing videos, and I've been dedicated to another project I'm working on, so I haven't really been able to tune into a lot of the shit that's happened, like, well, I'd say the last week.
Yeah, I think it was a really interesting debate. I'm sorry you didn't get to see it. But I want to do it again, right? But the problem is that the guy I was with, Arch, who runs a YouTube gaming channel, Arch Warhammer, he was doxxed. His father was contacted just for showing up. He doesn't want to go there again.
No, it's weird. Name some names of people that have been harassed. So there's you, there's Arch. Who else?
There's me, there's Arch, there's Sargon, there's the Jewish guy. There's I believe it was, I would even put Sticks under this. There was like this whole pedophilia scandal that came up right after he went on the stream. There's what the quartering, I guess, but the moment Louis posted a thing with Richard Spencer on the Twitter, immediately he was getting targeted.
Now, are you noticing a majority of those names fit into a specific category, V? There's there's quartering, there's Louis, there's Sargon.
Okay.
What group or ideology might these people all be a part of, or seemingly connected with, that might be drawing the attention of Cow or others to poke fun at them? Does it start with an L and end with a liberalist?
I don't think Mike Enoch or Sticks would be liberalist. And even if you...
Mike Enoch was already doxxed by, or his mother was doxxed, quote unquote, by Laura Loomer. and Styx was involved in a thing with I don't even remember their name. Two radio hosts that came on Tonka's show.
Well, something
But
with the
that
Discord as
information
well. Some shit,
pre-existed.
yeah.
Both their informations pre-existed Bloodsports at all. So saying they were doxxed as a result, don't. So you're left with a list of names of people that might be, I don't know, connected to a newfound movement on the internet that people might say is cringy as shit, and they're poking fun at it.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, then when you guys react, that brings more attention. You're fueling this fire, and I've been watching this for like a month now, man, and it amazes me that you guys aren't stepping back and saying, "Oh shit, that's what we keep giving a reaction. That's what's drawing this in on us."
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the way you view it, but the question is, like, who else is going against the alt-right on these platforms? Like, the SJWs aren't, people on the far left aren't.
Well, there was a group of 3 Antifa that went up against Mike Enoch. There was Styx who went up against Richard Spencer. There was Tariq Nasheed that went up against Jared Taylor.
I mean, do you honestly consider Tariq Nasheed to be?
Do you consider him to be alt-right?
No. That's not what I mean to say. It's like, do you consider him a valid argument? Like, would you?
I find Tariq Nasheed highly entertaining. I would go on a stream with him any day of the week. I find that guy funny as shit. I think he's a classic troll. I would go on stream with him anytime.
Okay, but here's my question then. If I were to tell other people from the cringy group that you mentioned not to go and debate the alt-right, because the trolls.
Well, no, I would say don't cry about it. That's what's drawing it. It's this Reddit mindset. I think there's a disconnect between what I would consider you guys, which is kind of a Reddit mindset, and an image board mindset. And I don't get it. I don't get how people that were a part of Gamergate can turn around and be like, oh, we're getting harassed and doxxed and stalked, and oh my god, it's all these evil people doing this. It rings similar to the shit that I heard during Gamergate from fucking Zoe and Anita and Woo and all of the others. You're going to have people mixed in there that are just trying to fuck with people for laughs. And you've stumbled directly into a group of that, V. And you're saying, well, I'm not saying it's a cow board. I fucking am. I'm saying they're fucking with you because you're entertaining them. Right.
But you are saying that when you go, like, for instance, if I were to bring another person to have the Richard Spencer debate part 3, the trolls will fuck with him, and he needs not to react in order for the trolls to go away. Is this what I'm getting?
Well, I mean, it really depends. Again, we're looking at a difference, right, between a group of people that I've listed that haven't had really anything I've seen happen to them and your group. And it might have to do with not just... See, you're thinking this is all centered around Bloodsports itself. I'm saying that I'm saying maybe you've drawn a target on yourselves with your political aspiration.
I mean, the way I noticed with the feminists is that any sort of poke coming their way, they would react with an exaggerated reaction. Like, you would take a picture of yourself and Anita Sarkeesian was in the background in a public space, and then there were like articles in the BBC about it. You know, it was you would just talk about Brianna Wu on Twitter, and then she would say that she's getting death threats and she's afraid for her life. But I think,
but you talk about Bloodsports, and what do we have? We have Quartering doing a video saying don't go on Bloodsports, you're going to get doxxed. You're saying don't go on Bloodsports, you're going to get doxxed. You have other people. It's the same thing. Brianna Wu saying, oh, these Gamergaters are coming after, don't interact with them, they're going to get you. You guys are saying don't interact with the Bloodsports, it's going to get you. It just feels like, I don't know, man. If you want my honest assessment, it feels like you guys, I'm going to use that collectivist term, but it feels like you guys are maybe a little pissed off something else is out there that has its own audience and that it's doing its own thing, and you kind of had a bad showing on it in a few instances, and maybe there's a little bit of animosity there. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I had the bad showing on the Bloodsports because else I would stop going, right? So my personal opinion is, I'm not going to say I did great, but I think I presented myself well enough to the point where I would go again. The difference is that when you say getting doxxed, like, I don't care if my family, if my name or my home address. Well,
I mean, that's the other thing too. I mean, according to you, you weren't doxxed, correct?
Yeah. Well, I did say on the Kumaite, I believe, on the show where we talked for 8 hours over what doxing is, and it was like 4 people screaming at me for 8 hours. And I did point that at the 5-hour mark, that posting someone's address with the purpose of having malicious shit happen to them in real life, I consider that to be doxing. So even by my definition, I did get doxed.
But do you know the intention of the people who were posting it? Like the original people that posted it, do you know that that was a malicious intention, or were they just putting it up to prove a point? That maybe you and a few others had said, well, what happened to CRP wasn't doxing, so they were trying to give you a taste of your own medicine to see if you'd stick to that principle.
Well, what is the point?
I mean, you have this idea that, oh, I'm going to put up information on somebody, right? And that's not a big deal. But what I think there's a disconnect with you from, there's an inevitability that's going to happen once you put that information up. Like you were like, well, here, I mean, you're like, okay, putting CRP's information up and talking about it, or, you know, linking to it or whatever, it's not a big deal. But there's a follow-up to that, because look what happened when your information was posted. I mean, you were talking on Twitter about, wow, they sent my mother pictures of me. I saw the picture, by the way. It looks like it was made in paint.
Yeah, no, I agree. It looked like it was made in paint, but you have to take into account that my mom doesn't really understand computers.
Of course, yeah. But what I'm saying to you is, you put the information out there, somebody's going to use it. So, you know, if you want to talk about what your definition of doxing is, well, you can't be naive. You can't be like, well, we're going to use it, you know, responsibly. Well, you're going to know that there's going to be a follow-up to that information.
Well, would you consider that my video, where the only thing that I posted was Coach Red Pill name, that would be considered any sort of identifiable information? And this is after
I saw a lot of tweets and videos about, well, you know, this is his address, he put it up, or this is his name, we got it from an interview.
Yeah, but I'm talking about me particularly, right? So you can watch my videos with Coach Red Pill. The only thing that I posted was his name, which was important to tie him to the information that I was presenting in the video. And he released that particular name exactly one day before I made the video in the Skype conversation he had with Sargon, which he released personally by himself without anyone forcing him to. So my question is, would you compare the video that I made about Coach Red Pill with, let's say, someone posting my mother's Facebook and then asking if anyone speaks Romanian because he wants to send her some nasty messages and shit?
Again, I think there's a naivete when you're approaching the subject that you think that, well, I just don't think you see the logical, drawn-out conclusion of where this is going. And what I'm telling you is, if you want to get into this game of what's acceptable and what's not, I'm going to post this much information, but not this much because I have some moral, you know, line in the sand that I won't cross. You're being stupid, because somebody is going to cross it, and it's going to be with the information you provided. And when you make public statements about, if this is public statements you've made, if it's public information that's not doxing, they're going to take that and then see if you can tolerate it. And so that's exactly what they did. They found your information, they found your address, they found your work information and your educational history, they found your mother's shit, they found anything they could get their hands on, and started posting it up. And then you start reacting to it, and they're like, holy shit, we got somebody that we can fuck with. And so they amp it up more. Now it's not we just posted his information. Now it's, we're going to use the information. And you freak out even more.
No, but if they want to, I guess, show that I have a double standard, well, my definition was that when you post the information with the specific purpose of doing shit to people in real life, then yeah, I consider that doxing. Because people like Tonka asked me, it's like, Andy Worski asked me, do you think what Christy Winters did to Bering is wrong? And that's the reason why I said, yeah, it is, because she did it with the purpose of other people going after him. Now, I can see your point, you know, people stretching the line. But when they posted my information, I didn't care. When they posted my address, my education.
See, that statement right there is why they're fucking with you.
Yeah, let me finish, right? Let me finish. Okay, it's only when they started calling my mom and scaring the living shit out of her, right? It's when I started caring.
Yeah, but of course, V, again, you're getting into a slap fight with a group of people that don't give two shits about your ideology or your morality. They want to laugh. So when they're trying to fuck with you and you start giving them reactions saying, I don't care, what are you going to do? But they're going to fucking show you what they're going to do. I mean, do you think it's going to stop here? I mean, do you think this is the line they've already? I've been reading these threads. They want to report your ass to the Romanian tax bureau or whatever the fuck that is, because they think you're breaking the law taking super chats. They want to fucking contact colleges. They want to contact fucking former employers. They are going to keep pushing it because you keep reacting. And this is what I tried to tell you on Twitter. And this is the same thing I told you with harmful opinions. If you don't know how to interact with people that are trolling you, if you're not good at banter, if you can't handle that kind of shit, don't fucking engage with it, because you are going to lose.
Well, the thing is, while this is extremely annoying and infuriating, I'm not going to lie. There's really not much that's going to happen from them contacting my, the Romanian tax authority or whatnot, because I'm all over the board. But there are other people who, for instance, live in places where you have hate speech laws, and they're trying to contact the police to get people arrested for hate speech. And you can't have people debating white nationalists and then, taking what they said, making a video edit.
What's the name? What's the name of the threads? What's the name of the threads, V?
I'll give them to you after.
No, I can tell you right now because it's been the same thread name continually. The JewTube Rational Skeptic Community. Okay. Doesn't seem like that's all right. Doesn't seem like that's blood sports. That seems, again, like it's directed towards a specific group of people, which you seem to fit into. So when you talk about, when you talk about, well, they're going after other people, you're talking about Sargon? Yeah, because you are exacerbating the situation. You are like living collateral damage, V. You are a walking fucking firestorm for anybody associated with you, because your interactions are provoking a reaction, and that reaction is now spreading to other people associated with you. So when Sargon gets fucked with, when what were the other ones, Louis or the Quartering or whoever, if they end up getting fucked with,
Arch,
they can send their thank you to you, because this thread and all this shit is because you couldn't stop interacting with them, because you said shit like, doesn't bother me. What are you going to do? I'm cool with it. Or you host a thread, or you host a stream saying, anybody from Cow here, press 1. Don't poke at the fucking beehive if you can't handle the stings, my friend.
Yeah, but you notice how the thread is only about me recently.
Well, look at what you did last night.
Of the shit.
Oh, no, V, look what you did last night. Like you spurged out on Twitter against me, against fucking Tonka, and anybody else that was contacting you. Like, you gave a reaction. And what did you do? You immediately started posting screen caps of fucking threads from Cow, an anonymous board. I don't know who the fuck uses that board. You can't say you do either. For all we know, it's Anita Sarkeesian and Mike Enoch run that board. I have no fucking clue.
Throughout this whole stream we've been having, not once did I say that trolls are of a particular ideology, did I?
No, but you've pretty much hinted at it with the numerous tweets you put out.
Okay, if I said it in the past,
alt-right friendly, alt-right platform, anybody that debates the alt-right, let's be real here. What the fuck are you saying? Don't play the word games. You're saying
let me explain
this is politically motivated, and it's not.
Let me explain what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can't then call people cowards or say that people are afraid of debating the alt-right when shit like this has happened. Right. So for instance, let me just
gunfight, V. If you're gonna poke at a fucking anonymous board dedicated to trolling, don't cry about it.
Let me finish what I want to say. Right. So when I get someone like Arch, who like only one time he appears, and I think the conversation was quite productive, and I think he didn't do anything to spurg out during the conversation. If he did, please let me know. And when he appears only once, he immediately gets doxxed and his father gets contacted. Well, then you can't expect people to just go and...
I just explained this to you. You are living collateral damage, V. You were on that fucking stream with him. You were the guy that brought him in there, and you're the guy that the thread is focused on. Of course, anybody you are associated with is going to get fucked with. Now, maybe it's not so much. Maybe it's not so much blood sports or the alt-right here. Maybe this is a V-related issue.
All right, but if someone, for instance, like Mike Enoch or JF wants to debate with me in the future, and I say no, right? You would be able to say that, okay, it's not necessarily because I'm afraid of debating the arguments, but it's because I don't want to feed the trolls.
Yeah, V, nobody ever had an issue with you. This is the other thing you need to understand. Your inability to not take the bait is one of your major fucking foibles. But people did like you because out of all the supposed, as they say, JewTube rational skeptic libertarianistisms, you were the guy that would go on streams. You were the guy that was willing to sit and talk with people. They didn't begrudge you that. Nobody said that V's a pussy because he won't go on stream, because you were the one that would go on stream. What I'm saying is the heat that you're getting right now is directly related to your interaction with this group and your inability to walk away from it. And if you don't walk away from it, it is going to only escalate. Okay,
and the people, I get your point. Yeah. I'll try to walk away from it, right? But I also want to share my point, which I don't think you'll agree with. But considering what people saw that happened to me, and I'm not talking about the internet nonsense where people share images and shit. I'm talking about the getting family involved type of crap. and flagging of the channel and everything else. Like, what did you say? Because I haven't paid attention. Like contacting the Romanian tax office and
what do I think about that situation?
No. What I'm saying is, when people see what is happening to me, and they would say, well, maybe it's right not to step up. Maybe
no. What they're gonna say is, let's not fuck with the cow board like idiots. They're gonna say, look how it turned out for V. That's what they're gonna say. They're not gonna have shit to say about Bloodsport.
And if people say, okay, going on a stream and having these debates is fucking with the cow board. I'm not going to say that this is something.
No. V. I'm not saying anything about the debates. I'm saying you have directly got into a slap fight with them, and this is a result of that. It has jack shit to do with Bloodsports. It has jack shit to do with the alt-right. You have got into a slap fight with them. That is what this is. This is like, I mean, this is like people that used to say, I'm going to take down ED. I'm going to teach the hate machine at B a lesson. Dude, you are in a losing fight, and it's not going to work out well for you. And people that would see those kind of situations play themselves out wouldn't say that it was anything else than their direct confrontation with those entities that went badly for them. I'm not saying that you couldn't be, that you couldn't come out on top if you were really great at banter, you're really funny, or you had a really good point, but it's not working out well for you. And so I'm trying to tell you from a sincere place.
No, I do believe that you're sincere. And I want to point it out that on my channel, there were other anonymous boards that I brought attention to. Like, for instance, there was this image board. No, sorry, it wasn't an image board. It was just an anon thing where they were getting people fired, right? Races get people fired. And it was over 1,000 people that were doing this shit. And they were getting people fired over the most trivial crap. And I spoke against it. I think I am having a consistency. When I see something that I don't like, I speak against it. And I understand that you're saying, okay, well, this is making
then speak against image board culture if that's what you have an issue with.
No, it's just the idea of trying to get bad shit happen to people in real life. And
that's what trolling is, V. And this is tame. Let me be honest with you. What the shit you're going through is tame. If this had been 5-6 years ago, they'd have been trying to get you to kill yourself on stream. They would have tried to get you swatted. They would have tried to fucking get something horrific to happen to you.
Well,
there used to be a time when they would get teenagers to live stream their suicides or light their apartment on fire, or they drove girls to the brink of crying and then her father had a heart attack 3 months later.
I'm curious what the American SWAT team can do in Romania, though.
I don't know. Maybe they contact the Romanian military. You have an ISIS cell in your apartment, or are going to bomb a mosque. I don't fucking know.
Well, I guess that would be interesting, but Romanian police doesn't just kill people like that. You would, if that were the case, like Romanian government would start an investigation. They wouldn't just mass people to shoot everything that's inside.
But what I'm saying is, it sounds
no,
to me
I get what
like you have an issue with image boards. And if you want, I would highly suggest you don't do this. But if you want to address that, feel free to make a video about it.
I will stop addressing this. I will take what Hanka said and try to man up about it. But my opinion still remains. If you go against the alt-right on any of these image boards, you will be targeted, right? And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that more
again, it's like
I know you disagree. I know you disagree.
No. You're not understanding what I'm telling you, and I'm going to drill this into your fucking head. This is not the alt-right. This is not Bloodsport.
I'm not saying it's the alt-right.
And I'm not saying have engaged in a fight with a board called Cow. Lolcow. They are dedicated to fucking with people that spurg out. That is all this is. And you have been spurging out. That is why they are fucking with you and people associated with you.
That is the view of Jim. Now let me tell you.
That is the reality of what is happening.
That is what View perceives the reality to be. Now let me tell you what I think, right? I am saying that anyone who goes on the Worski stream and does a good job or is debating against people like Mike Enoch, people like JF, people like alternative hypothesis, right? If they go there and they're doing these debates, they will be branded the lol cow and they will be targeted. Now,
and I've already explained to you that hasn't happened to Tariq Nasheed or the Antifa that went on there or other people.
Okay. I understand that that's your opinion, and I hope you're right.
That's an objective fact. Have you seen, did Tariq Nasheed get targeted? Were the Antifa that went against Mike Enoch, were they targeted?
Well, Tariq Nasheed, I think, if he gets targeted...
You're hand-waving that away, but was he targeted by the alt-right cow board after he went on with Jared Taylor?
I didn't say that the cow board is alt-right, okay? You're just putting the words in my mouth. I'm saying anonymous trolls. And
okay,
if you,
did the anonymous trolls target Tariq Nasheed after he went on with Jared Taylor?
I think Tariq Nasheed did such a good job entertaining the trolls that there was no need for targeting. So, okay, I will give you that. If you go debating against the alt-right and you make an absolute mockery and fool out of yourself, and you actually become a lolcow, then lolcow will not target you.
So wait, you're saying if you go on and act like a retard, or if you go on and act like a retard, people will call you retard.
Yes, if you say that white supremacy is all over the world and Israel is actually white supremacy and Chinese are influenced by white supremacy and your dick is a weapon of mass destruction, yes, lolcow will leave you alone. That is exactly what I say.
Now, V, since we're talking about trolling targeting you for showing up on a stream, am I in danger? Because you've shared on Twitter and elsewhere, I believe it was even in a stream maybe, that you ran a Facebook profile that wasn't yours and that you would troll feminists. Yeah. So now that I know that you troll people under fake identities, am I safe? Can I say that don't go onto V's stream, it'll take a fake identity and come after you?
Well, the way I was trolling feminists is I would put a feminist article and see how they reacted. I don't think
I don't know. All I know is you're using a fake identity. You're obviously part of trolling culture. What safeties and assurances do I have that V is not going to target me for coming on here?
I shared my my Facebook account where I was trolling, and people can look and see what I did. It was just me posting articles about feminist blogs and trying to see how they react. And for me, that was funny. Okay. But if you really want to see this, Jim, I would like to go against Richard Spencer the third time, and maybe you would like to be my debating partner, see if you get trolled or not.
See, this is another interesting thing I've noticed over the last couple of days. Let me explain something to you and to a few other people that have been saying that Jim won't do a video on JF because he's alt-right or he's afraid. No, I'm not going to do a video at the behest of people that are spurging the fuck out. Okay, I look at
people were spurging the fuck out over crowd.
I'm talking about like Short Fat Otaku, Scrump Monkey, some guy named Bishop on Twitter. You even said it yourself. Oh, Jim is scared. You're scared, Jim. I understand.
Yeah, it was banter. It was banter. You said the same thing.
I want to make it. I want to make it clear. I want to make it clear to you guys. I'm not going to do that at your. I want to make it clear. I'm not going to do that at your direction. It'd be the same as a baby fur trying to bait me into doing what they wanted. It's not going to happen.
Again, you keep saying
not if you're spurging out. Why would I listen to that? Why would I listen to a group of people that are acting like retards?
So you were about okay. You were about to do a video on JF, but all of a sudden you saw people spurging out and you said, "Fuck it."
Can you not read my Twitter feed when I've been continually following the court case, waiting for it to go through, saying when JF and Destiny go to court, I'm doing a video on it?
Okay, that's fair enough.
Is that invisible to you?
No, I didn't see it. I genuinely did not see that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I was busy sparking out, so I couldn't.
Yeah, no, I noticed. Yeah, I noticed.
No, but fair enough. I don't think I ever accused you of being anything but impartial. Did I do that on any stream? Did I say that you're alt-right or that?
I'm reading your tweets there, V. I'm reading your tweets. And,
yeah, but that was besides. Yeah, but that was.
That's like third grade banter. Like that's shit Tumblr would do. I know, like you guys have to step your game up if you want to try to puppet master me into doing something.
When I started this conversation with you, did I not say that because you poked me with harmful opinion, I was just doing a little banter and I didn't expect it to escalate? Did I say this in the exact beginning of the stream?
No, you did. And the thing is, and this I think is what amazes me most, is even after the experience with harmful opinions, you couldn't see what was happening with it. It's like I don't know. I don't know if it's just you're naive. I don't know if it's you're that unfamiliar with the internet. I think maybe people these days have forgotten what trolling is, or that there are groups dedicated to fucking with people, and that they don't give a shit about politics. I mean, politics is a guy's anonymous wares to fuck with their targets. They'll be alt-right if you want them to be alt-right. If it's going to fuck with your head, they'll do it. They'll be feminist if you want them to be feminist. Doesn't matter to them. They're just looking to fuck with you. And they will do anything and everything and take any identity on to accomplish that goal. And it amazes me that like people have forgotten that exists, that part of the internet is a real thing. That there are groups that just do that for the fun of it.
Right, and my opinion, as I said it before, is that now when people will refuse to go against the debating the alt-right or something like that, it's not necessarily because they're afraid of the arguments, but they might also try to ignore the trolls and not provide them entertainment.
Well, let's add a caveat on to the end of that. If you're going to go debate somebody, and then after the debate, spurg out like a retard for a month at a board called Cow, or other groups of people that are clearly trolling you, then yes, you are at risk. If you want to put that caveat on to the end of it, fine. But don't forget the caveat.
Honestly, I will make another stream about this in a month. and we'll see who else goes and debates against the alt-right, and we'll see if any of them spurred out or if any of them just got targeted for the fact that they win. And then we'll see which one of us is right, because this is the only way we can establish.
You don't see the cycle you've created, V. Anytime you listen.
Okay, I'll ask someone else to do it.
No. Listen, the eyes of a group of people are on you right now. Any statement you make that they think is going to make you and draw you back into this, they're going to do it. If you're saying I'll make a video if they target somebody else, they're going to fucking run out and target somebody else because they want you to react. V.
Okay. Well, still,
just take my advice. Just let it roll off you like water off a duck's ass. Just go do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. Go do the libertarianism thing. Go do your own streams. Interact with whoever you want to fucking interact with. But if you keep feeding this, it's never going to end, and it's going to escalate beyond what it is now, and it's going to go from trolling and fucking with your family to life ruination shit. And when it reaches that level, you're going to have a fucking ed entry about the meltdown of V Monroe. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to escalate.
Well, I did say that after talking with Tonka, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm going to let it roll off me like water over a duck's ass.
Yeah, there you go, like water off a duck's ass. But I do want to say one other thing though. I did think it was a bit shitty because it feels like you're trying to fuck with the revenue or fuck with their streams. Like you're going out screaming, don't go on Worski, don't go on Kumite, you're going to get targeted.
No, I said don't go against the alt-right on the Worski on the Kumite.
Yeah, but then you say you're alt-right friendly, and look what happens when you debate alt-right people, and Andy won't do anything.
I think it's quite a clear conversation. Okay, if the alternative hypothesis is there, or Richard Spencer, you want to debate against Anglian or whatnot, you will be targeted. That is my statement, and I stand by it.
Yeah, but you made the definitive statement. I don't want to go on Kumite again. I don't want to go on Kumite. I'll get doxxed again.
I genuinely think, as you said right now, in my particular case, that the eyes of certain people are upon me, and everything I say.
No, most definitely.
Right. So it's my interest not to go there. So if everyone says, "Oh, debate me, bro, go on the Kumite or you're a coward," I will not do that. Not because I'm afraid of debating that person.
Host the fucking debate on your channel then. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm doing this right now, aren't I?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is fine. Nobody's initial judgment of you, V, was that you were a coward. You're the only one that went on streams when people asked. So nobody's going to give you shit, I don't think, about that. But what I'm saying to you is you really have to let it go because you're reaching a critical point here, V. And if you go over that tipping point, there's no going back.
Let's pass through some super chats if you're okay with this.
Go for it, Andy.
Andy, you touched that girl's chest, I'm a killer, or what was it? You touched that girl's chest, you're a dead man, or God damn it, I don't know the.
Nicely done.
Nicely
done, V. Way to fuck that up.
That is a failure. Please listen to Uncle Jim. He knows stuff. I think I'm doing that. I do see what you're saying. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking about it after this. This is a pity super chat from Chris, $2. That was pity. Could have been worse. V, you're not listening to what Jim is saying. You are just waiting for your turn to talk. Listen to what Jim is saying, for fuck's sakes. V, put the shovel down. Stop calling us cowards for dodging debates. We just don't want to be harassed by cow, says Garm93. V, the intent behind posting info as the standard as to whether it's acceptable or not is fucking autistic. If you post personal info about someone, you either know or should know that the info is likely to be used by those who hate them to seek to troll and dance. Well, actually, this is an interesting question. Well, what if I know someone is doing something and I want to expose them, if it's for the public interest, and by exposing them, I need to release their name, for instance?
I don't know. It's a judgment you're going to have to make, I guess.
But what is your opinion, though?
What is my opinion on what, doxing somebody because I want to make a point on the internet?
Well, no, for instance, like a journalist who, wants to talk about a certain, wants to talk about Linda Sassur, for instance, stealing money from a Jewish charity. Right? And in order to do that, they have to release some information about what she did. Would you say that is acceptable, or would you say that they're doxing her and they're putting her in danger?
Oh, we're talking like a journalist for a mainstream media?
No, like some
It's a weird analogy.
some random blogger. Okay, like let's not even talk about journalism. Let's say I want to do it. Actually, I want to do it on my YouTube channel. I want to make a video about Linda Sarsour taking money from a Jewish charity, and I want to do that so that more people know not to donate money to her in the future because she's a dishonest person, and you don't have control of what she does with the money. Would you say that me releasing these particular informations that she might consider to be private?
Well,
even though, in my opinion, they're not.
How is releasing her name or address or phone number going to prove financial malfeasance?
Well, let's say in the course of the story is just required, right? I have to.
How would it be?
Let's say she.
If you want to set up. If you want to set up.
I know how. Okay, let's say she used the pseudonym to do it, and in order for me to reveal that it's her, I have to use her name and reveal the anonymity.
And you have definitive proof.
Yeah, or not necessarily definitive, but it's pretty damn conclusive.
Pretty damn conclusive or definitive?
It's pretty damn conclusive. Let's go with that. Let's not go with the abstract.
So you're going on a hunch?
It's a very reasonable hunch. Like, if anyone watches it and they're being an honest person, they would say, yeah, there is definitely something there.
Like I said, you're going to have to go with your judgment.
Yeah, but I'm asking what your opinion is on this particular.
Have I done a video like that?
Well, for instance, when you talked about Zoe Quinn, you had to release certain information about her. I guess I would have to think a little bit more. Oh, your videos about that guy with the glasses, your video series, right? You had to release some sort of information about them.
Yeah, all the information released in that guy with the glasses, though, was culled from their own personal accounts. Like that was Linkara's account, or that was posted on a public thing. Again, you're like delving off from talking about a username to talking about their actual name or their address or their phone number or
the
financial information.
Thing, he released his own name on his own Twitter, like a day before.
I know you keep going back. I understand.
That's what people say. I'm a doctor, right?
You want Jim to be able to say, "Oh, I do it," and then be like, "Well, that's what I did with Coach Red Pill," but I haven't done that.
Okay, no, but my point is that this is why I'm accused of being a doxer, right? And I was just curious.
This isn't even about you doxing or something. This is about you saying, this is about what they perceive as a double standard. This is about you saying, it's okay when I do it, and I'm fine with having it done. So they're testing you to see if that's true.
Yeah, I was just curious if you perceive it's a double standard, or I'm actually sticking to my definitions.
I don't know how sticking to your definitions. How's that working out for you so far?
All right. Let's go to the next super chat.
How's that working out for you so far, bud?
Well, it was just a conversation I wanted to have with you, but I understand if the eyes of certain people are upon us, you don't want to delve into.
Well, yeah, and I'm reading your chat too. I'm seeing some comments coming through that Jim's okay with this. I'm not gonna apologize for it, and I'm not gonna disavow it. There are places on the internet that are gonna fuck with you, and if you are dumb enough to walk into that, that's on you.
So that's basically like if I want to do with the trolls, I should do like you're doing right now. Okay, so just
if you want to deal with the trolls, you'd better be good at it, or it's going to backfire on you.
No, because this is why I'm asking you. I want to see your reaction.
Remember the arguments feminists would make when men would tell them, "Well, maybe you want to carry protection with you, or not dress like that if you're going to walk down a dark alley at midnight in a crime-ridden area of town." And they'd say, "That's sexist. How dare you? How dare you say that I can't wear a bikini in Harlem at midnight when I'm walking down alleys in drug neighborhoods?" And people are like, "Well, dude, okay, I'm not saying that I agree with you getting raped, but if you're dumb enough to do that, maybe you're a fucking idiot and put yourself in a bad situation." What I'm saying is, you're wearing the bikini, you're walking through Harlem at midnight, V, and you're getting fucked in the ass by the cowboard. So, and that's my message.
But you know what? Walking through Harlem and getting raped kind of shows that maybe people shouldn't walk through Harlem without wearing protection.
Well, maybe they shouldn't walk around in a bikini saying, "Look at me, I'm free and safe. Nothing can touch me," because something can most definitely touch you.
I think if you walk with the bikini and the German Shepherd, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it goes to people not having common sense. And I'm not just saying this for you. I'm saying this for the people in your chat that may legitimately not understand this. If you're going to go engage with groups that like to fuck with people, don't be surprised when they fuck right back with you 10 times harder. And don't expect people to say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you." Because everybody's going to look at that and be like, why would you do that? What were you expecting was going to happen?
Yeah, no, I agree with you with that, but I'm also saying is that if you go against the alt-right, this will happen to you. And I know you disagree. I think you say it's not
Again,
political.
see, but you're
Okay,
saying it's not political, but you just said the alt-right. If you go against the alt-right, this is going to
yeah,
happen.
I'm not saying the alt-right will fuck you. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not the people of the alt-right that will do it.
No, but you're
It's trolls
attributing that this is a
that will do it.
reaction because they're somehow followers of the alt-right. Like
Mate, all I'm
they're,
saying is
they're
that I see a pattern. You take the shit, you put it in a computer, and it will spit out the result. This is what I'm saying. It's not something that is not obvious for me, at least. Right? If you're saying that, yeah, you
well,
get
like I said, I see a pattern. Like I said, I see a pattern too. I see liberalists getting fucked with, and I see a thread titled "Rational YouTube Skeptics."
okay.
So
Well,
maybe it's
if
not
any
the
if
alt-right.
any of the liberalists are invited and they say no, you need to be charitable and say, okay, it's not because they don't have the arguments or they don't want to go. It's because they don't want to end up like V. Because V did go, V did went there, and this is what happened to him, and I don't want to put myself in that position. It's not because, oh, I'm afraid of Richard Spencer to create some ethno-states in space type of shit, or I'm afraid of Andrew Anglin who zaps immigrants and tries to drag them away from their homes, and he won't fire a single bullet by doing it. Right?
So is that why you're saying Sargon ran when Enoch showed up in JF's stream?
Well, I think Sargon actually did say that he's playing a video game. I don't think Sargon is afraid
Is he
of
raising his wife's dinosaur V? Have you confirmed that for us? Is that what he's doing?
Well, the thing that he said in my stream right after, I don't know if you followed it.
No.
All
I heard was that
he said that he doesn't want. He said that he doesn't want to debate people that stick it to the Jews.
No, I remember him saying, what did he say? Oh, well, that's the alt-right is irrelevant. I'm a real human being. I've got feelings. Treat me with respect, which is just again begging people to come fuck with you.
Yeah, which is why I told him not to go on these debates anymore. And after he stopped going on these debates,
no, those statements, I think those statements would attract attention whether he's going on debates or not. If you were making those statements, you'd attract attention whether you're going on those debates or not.
No, I agree, which is why I never made these statements.
Which is smart, good, because it's just asking to get fucked with.
So, other super chats.
Yeah, go ahead with your super chats.
Shut the fuck up, Metokurist, and let me talk. Vim seems much more genuine than Sargon. You messaged me that you had to do the stream before mine. When do you particularly want to do my stream, V? Please respond to my Twitter messages. This is a gentleman that lives in the United Kingdom, and I wanted to have a stream with him about immigration. Unfortunately, our banter came up, so I had to push his stream a little bit after this. Hopefully tomorrow, mate. Hopefully tomorrow we can do it. Jim is making less liberally slope argument. They are only going after people with legitimate criticisms then. I mean, you kind of have to concede the fact that people who are part of the classical liberal ideology, you know, people who believe in the stuff we're saying, this is how they might view it.
How they might view what?
Well, if the talking heads that are pushing their ideology get trolled, like you say, wouldn't this be them seeing, like this gentleman is saying, Alexander Murdoch, they're only going after people with legitimate criticisms then? Doesn't this make it look?
That's assuming your criticisms are legitimate.
Yeah,
and not
I agree. But no, I completely agree. I don't say that my criticisms, I mean, I'm subjective, so obviously I think that my criticisms are the best shit ever, right? Because everyone is subjective and they think their criticisms are the best. But when it's this constant pattern that you're saying that liberalists will get trolled, and liberals decide to stop going, people will say, well, aren't...
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying... This is where the confusion is.
Okay.
I'm saying your group, I like that collectivist term, your group of individualist individuals of the non-collective collective, right, have made some statements that have drawn some attention. And then your interactions with Cow have drawn more attention. I don't think it's necessarily circled around this debate. I don't think it's the audience drawing in that attention. I just think that's the way it is. We can disagree on that. That's fine. But if as long as you listen to my fucking advice, stop interacting.
I will listen to your advice and to Tonka's. I told Tonka this as well, and I hope that my audience will also hold me to it. I'm gonna try to what was it? Water under a duck's ass, I believe it was the
water off a duck's ass. Yeah,
water off a duck's ass. We need that in Romania as well. It's a good expression. But by the way, because okay, so someone asked me to talk to you about collectivism, right? Because It's just a psychological term. It's like political philosophy. If you look at
I know. I
the,
don't care.
you don't
I
care?
think it's gay.
It's gay, isn't it?
I tried to explain this to Sargon. You're
Okay.
internet YouTubers, V. Nobody cares.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
like
see,
the third iteration of it, isn't it? It was rationalist, and then it was skeptics, and now it's liberalists. Like, I get it. You're liberals. It's a nice new coat of paint. I don't give a shit.
well, this is why I disagree. I think the first movement, the rationalists were what, the atheist movement, I guess. And
I
then
don't fucking know. I don't keep a notebook journal of the dumb shit people get up to online. I just hear the name and go, fucking Christ, what are you doing?
well, I think now
rationalists. Who does that? Who does that? Who calls himself that?
Well,
and doesn't think they're going to be laughed at?
It's I don't think people call themselves the rationalists. I think this was a label.
They named their Facebook group that.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. These are like the anti-tribalists, weren't they?
Yeah, this was Sargon and all of them. They were the rationalists, and then it was the skeptics.
I think there is actually a picture. I don't think it was Sargon. Hold on. Because I saw this Google image of them. Wasn't it like Spino and what's his name? Like the guy with the George Soros picture with bunny ears and.
The rationalists had Shuan and Sargon and others posting their collective videos together on Facebook, which is weird. You'd think they wouldn't want to do that together. They would be individualists about it.
Okay, well, I don't know about it.
But my point is, it's goofy fucking internet shit. And I'm sorry, but that's the reality of it. And I know that calling it cringe gets under people's skins. I don't give a shit. I'm calling it like I see it. I'm going to call it like I see it, just like I would with fucking Baby Furs, just like I would with DeviantArt, just like I did with Tumblr and any other fucking group that I've encountered. And I thought, God, that's some funny, goofy fucking stuff. I get it. You believe in it. I don't. It looks dumb to me.
You know what's funny? That the Tumblr pronoun Z, Xerc, C, which you would have found completely ridiculous when you started making the videos. Like, if you had asked me 4 years ago, I would say this is just absolute cringe shit. It will never... never in my life would I think that this would reach mainstream. And now there are laws in Canada that you have to call someone a Zerg. I mean, I get that you want to use the internet for laughing at, it's like someone who watches television. Some people like to watch Jerry Springer's, other people like to watch cartoons. Some people want to watch the news and other people want to watch music. And I think there's a place for an audience that want to watch more, I'm not going to call it serious, but they want to watch some political shit.
I get it, V. And what I'm saying is, if I walked up to the average man on the street and said, my friend, let me tell you about the Liberalists. It's run by a YouTuber that has a secret 20-year plan that's in a mystery box. He won't tell you what it is, but it'll work. And all you have to do is call yourself call yourself a liberalist and follow this super secret plan that's in the mystery box that we're not showing anybody because it's a mystery. All your problems will be solved. Nobody's going to have transgender children after this. You're going to be safe.
No, let me explain to you what this is about, right? Because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings surrounding this. The way I view it is that there are actual problems that I would like fixed. I guess I'm just bitching about it, and honestly, you were bitching about it on your channel as well. Like, for instance, the co-opting of Marvel, and you had this other video on the European Union, and you also had several other videos about journalism, and I think you made the video about Ferguson, a couple of years ago. And
yeah, a couple of years ago, because I said my piece and then I moved on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there are other people who haven't moved on, I guess.
Yeah, you haven't moved on. I understand that. You guys are stuck in the mindset of talking about blue hairs from Tumblr and
we're not
Islam.
talking about blue hairs from Tumblr, are we? I mean, the fact that what was the recent problem? Oh yeah, the one at Google, where they're forcing employers, for instance, to listen to furries talk about how it is to be a multi-planar being, and they harass people who vote for Trump and shit like that. At the major corporations that has your emails, I think it would be something that the public would like to know that is going on.
I don't know. All I know is, boy, this is sure a pull shift from what Sargon told me about 6 or 7 months ago when he was talking about the adpocalypse on Google. They're our friend, Jim. YouTube just needs to know that YouTube just needs to know we support them. They're on our side. And then all of a sudden the Demore documents come out and it's, oh my God, look what's going on.
Yeah, but let's talk about how it was then and how it's now. Then there was a KKK video that YouTube said they will not take down because they want these people to have a rope to hang themselves with, and they want more people to hear what the KKK has to say. And they had a strict policy when it came to taking down videos, and now they changed. So obviously my opinion on them changed as well. Why would I have the opinion I have now to a company that was different back then?
Well, people aka me, told Sargon that it was a dumb idea. I'm not going to go into great detail. People can ask him if they want. That he had in relation to what was going on with Google. And I told him they don't give two fucks about YouTubers. You guys, all of us, mean nothing. We are just fucking people on a platform. They don't give two goddamn shits about YouTubers. That would be pretty obvious to anybody with any common sense. So when I'm hearing that kind of argument, and then the guy that makes that argument to me 6 or 7 months later wants to do a political movement, and he's talking about, oh my God, all these terrible things that are going on. And I'm thinking back to that conversation. I'm like, I'm not fucking following this. I'm not following this shit.
You also had the video, A Tale of Two Narrative, if I remember correctly. I mean, obviously you gave a little bit of shit about that. Yeah. Raising.
Yeah, I was showing people saying, hey, look, your comments are disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't you think?
But I didn't start a political movement about it, did I? I made a video and I moved on.
It's not a political movement; it's an advocacy movement. Like the way
from what I understand, didn't Sargon say that he had aspirations to make it political? He wanted to get politicians involved.
Well, let's talk about what it is, right? And then we can decide if you.
I've already decided, but I'll let you pitch me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Upsell me.
Okay. The way I view it is the way social justice warriors influence the culture is not done by one person. It's an overall push. And the only way to fight against this type of tactic and to fight the culture is with the counterculture, to get people, a sufficient high number of people to change their mind on issues. And the only way to do it is to get out there and talk to people and, help people articulate the problems that they're having, to help people better explain how to navigate the political correctness labyrinth without being called racist, sexist, and getting fired. And this whole internet thing that you say it's not working, I think it does. Like if I'm looking at 4 years ago on a website that's on a game journalist website, for instance, even remotely contradicting yourself with a woman or even remotely saying something negative about the feminist, you'd get banned immediately. And nowadays people are going and they're trolling the living fuck out of IGN, not giving a single fuck about it. It's like, it's the opposite way around. When a feminist says something, people are immediately attacking and they're dogpiling them. So I do think there is a shift in culture. I do think it's a change. Now, it is my opinion that alternative media had something to do with it. I don't know, but I do think that, your channel in particular didn't do it, but other channels with yours talking about these issues and mocking them and, talking how silly they are, I think it changed the mind of a lot of people.
Now, when you're talking about addressing the source of the counterculture rather than the symptoms, what source would you pin all of this on? What's the source of the SJWs?
The source of the SJWs, I would say it's academia.
And what's the driving force in academia, V?
Money.
There's not a specific group you're thinking of, maybe? Are you coming out as alt-right on this stream, V? Do we need some parentheses?
The way I view it is when Milo Yiannopoulos went to Berkeley University, right? And there were these massive riots there, and, students were burning shit, and then people saw how people in black were using bike locks to crack heads and stuff. They lost a lot of supporters. Like, people stopped sending their kids to those universities. People started taking money away from those universities. They had to shut down a lot of their dorms. Professors got fired. I think capitalism is doing its job. It's just that people need to expose these types of behavior. Because I bet that 4 years ago, if you said that, on Berkeley, there is a terrorist organization that's willing to go out and use bike locks to crack people's head, people will think that you're crazy. You're talking shit. It's only until Milo, a gay Jew that's a conservative and is married with a black man, went there and saw how they're calling him a Nazi and how deranged these people are, that the public took notice of some wrongdoing over there.
So you establish your group. So, okay, what memes are you going to steal this time for it? Like, Shadowlay, my fellow Kekistani, what bullshit are you going to lift and brand as your own, E-Bombs World, to make this one work?
Are you against cultural appropriation now? Are you saying that memes are coming with intellectual property?
I did a video 10 years ago called Pretender Syndrome, talking about people that didn't belong to a certain community online, taking and using their memes and their language to try to seem like they fit in when they really don't. I mean, that might be part of the problem that you and Sargon and others are dealing with.
Yeah.
No, wait. Let me finish. You took.
That's fair enough.
Let me finish. You took the whole meme, right? And you used them and you tried to make it seem like everything's cool, but now all of a sudden it's not. I mean, it seemed like it was fine when you're making money off it, but once it got to be a bit of a problem, now we've got an issue. We got to call it out.
Well, I think the video you were talking was about feminists infiltrating in gaming, right?
No. The
What,
video
what?
I'm talking about with somebody called the Crying Red Faggot who showed up and ruined a forum with his little bitch moves by trying to pretend like he fit in when he didn't. And then once he got accepted by the community, he ruined it by being a whiny little bitch.
I watch your videos religiously, but I guess I missed that one. I
said a decade ago, Fee.
All right, that's fair enough. I haven't seen it. But okay, if I see a really good meme that's made at me and it comes from an image board, like what are the procedures I need to do in order to be able to replicate it? Like, do I need to ask permission? Like, do I call an IP lawyer so we can discuss royalties? Like, how exactly would I be able to do if someone sees some funny shit and wants to use that funny shit? Like, what are the loopholes that they need to go through?
I don't know. I mean, look how it worked out for you. Like, Kekistan is pure fucking cringe at this point. Who doesn't get mocked for liking it? If you want to do it, you gotta run with what the reaction's gonna be. Look at the faggots that wear the fucking reaction face shirts from Reddit. You know, with all the smug face, all the stupid faces I'm talking about. You ever see one of those assholes walking around a mall? No, you don't. There's a reason.
Well, the thing with the Kekistani was that it was just a joke that Sarga said on the Labor stream, and people just started doing it. Like, it used to be on 4chan, it used to be on 8chan. But this whole idea of mocking identity politics was something that Sargon said on the stream, and it was because his UK government website allowed for people to create their own ethnicity, and they said, okay, well, why don't we troll them? Why don't we see where Kekistani and see what happens? You know, and he took like I believe it was a Middle Eastern nation that most people probably don't hear about, and they took that nation's economy, which was based on poppy fields. And they used it that this is Kekistani culture and shit like that, and they tried to troll the UK government website to see if they can get Kekistani as an ethnicity, because at the end of the day, there is a religion based on Jedis, you know, and they want to see how stupid this can be. It's like,
that's cute. If it lasted a week, that would have been funny.
But if other
years, V.
Yeah,
2 years of people being fucking retards.
You'll never see me, you know, going around with the Kekistani flag or shit like that. You know, if other people want to do it, it's like, okay, that's fine. But if you're going to ask me what Kekistani is,
my mind flashes back to somebody standing on a toy boat at a children's playground waving a Kekistani flag while retards scream "Normies get out."
I agree, and that wasn't me. You know, that's not what I was doing.
I'm saying that's my mental image of this. So, okay. So you liberalists want to change the world. You see that academia influenced by money, I guess, is the root cause. Money from who?
Well, I don't know who is sending money to the academia.
Are we anti-capitalist? What do you mean by money? It's a very generic kind of vague statement. Where's the money coming from? What's influencing those academics?
Marxists, left-wing Marxists, ideologues that want to create like the way the way.
Let's follow it. Let's follow it to its conclusion. So it's the SJWs are being influenced by the professors, which are being influenced by the money, which is being given by Marxist communists. Now, who would those Marxist communists be, V?
Well, I think you made the video where you talk about the government, the media, and what was the third one? The SJWs, how they're working hand in hand. I think people watching that video will...
I called it a serendipitous conspiracy because it wasn't something worked towards. It just happened to be different groups that had a similar goal and probably looked around and said, oh, shit, look, they're doing it too.
Like, the way I view it, these university professors, they're actually doing it because they believe what they're doing. I don't think. Well, I mean, there's NGOs in Europe, for instance, like the Soros Foundation, which are funding.
George Soros. That's an interesting last name. What kind of name is Soros? Hey?
Okay, if you want to get that he's Jewish, fine. I never denied that.
I've never heard of George Soros.
You never heard of George Soros? Well, okay,
no, I haven't. Is he Jewish?
Yeah, and you can also see that he collaborated with the Nazis when he was young. Yeah, it's a very interesting life.
That's strange. Wow. So George Soros, a Jew, is he paying the Marxist communists, or is he one of them?
Well, mate, if you want to make a video on this issue, I would really.
Educate me. So did George Soros? Is he one of the Marxist communists? Me?
No, I think George Soros never stated why he's doing what he's doing. He is for globalism, from what I've seen. Like it's
a globalist Jew with a lot of money, huh? Weird. Weird.
Hey, okay, why do you think that's weird?
It just seems strange to me. Why would he? Why would he be? Why would somebody, a globalist Jew with a lot of money, want to ruin America by influencing academics? That
Well, I
sounds
don't
so.
know why would an American woman like Hillary Clinton be so corrupt? It's
I
just
don't
strange
know.
to me. It's like these Americans, they're so corrupt. Why would
It's so strange to me. Why would Why would you instantly name a Jewish globalist? I don't know. It's so bizarre. Why was that the first name to pop in your head when talking about this issue?
Well, I'm not against naming people if they're doing it. Like, why do you think he's Jewish? He shouldn't be named, or like, what are you trying to imply?
No. I thought maybe you'd name somebody like, I don't know, Jim Jimerson or something.
I have
Some
never
white
heard of Jim
Catholic.
Jimerson though.
Neither have
Like,
I, because I've never heard of this issue, but I'm glad you're educating me on it. So I've only got one name to work on. So it's a Jewish man. Are there other Jewish people involved in this V?
I'm pretty sure there's also Jewish and non-Jewish people involved. Yes.
Can you
And
name any
no,
non-Jewish
but
people
here's the
involved?
thing, right? No, because I know what you're getting at, right? Is the Jews, right? The Jews, and the problem is when you say the Jews and you don't give names, like people don't really know where to direct their concern towards. Like when you name George Soros, people can actually start looking and they're investigating into what he does, and they can make up their own mind about it. When you just say the Jews, quote unquote, not only will a lot of people just stop listening to you because you sound like a radical Muslim, it's also the fact that it doesn't
Wait, wait, no. I want to
yeah.
make real sure I'm understanding you here.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you want to be able to tell people Jews are doing this without actually saying Jews are doing this?
No, I
Is that
want
what
to
you just
tell.
said?
No, I want to accurately describe the. Well, do you want me to say what I
Well,
said? Or?
is it not accurate when you just said George Soros is a Jew and he's doing this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to point the people doing it
You
accurately.
want to just do it in a more PR friendly way.
But
What is your disagreement with the alt-right again?
Okay, so when you say Jews are doing it, there's people that are not Jewish that I also consider responsible. And there's people that are Jewish who aren't doing anything, and I don't consider responsible. I think.
But you instantly named the Jew. you didn't give me a non-Jew. You went right to Soros.
Well, I wasn't prepared for this type of debate. If you were to give me a few hours, and I would look it up, that I would come up with the name of people.
Too, but I mean, I think that name's close to your heart. Why would you instantly name that? That's so weird.
Okay. Well, this is the same question. Like, why would you name a white man? Like from a progressive? Because this is the thing with the progressives. They're also concerned. It's like why are straight white men dominating the world? And they would put George Soros as a white man. So it's like if I were to say who does something bad, and you are a progressive, you will say, well, oh, there you go, he's white and he's male, and he's dominating the world. But I don't think he's dominating the world. I do think that he's using his money in order to.
I don't know
politics.
if I can. This is getting pretty extremist, man. I mean, you're telling me Jews are responsible for academia.
That's not what I said.
SJWs. You're
turning it to the so what you're saying is.
So what you're saying is you're telling me that the Jews are behind it. That's so weird. I believe.
You know what?
I only believe in one race, the human race. Okay.
Right.
I want to hold hands and just. I want to be able to embrace my wife's boyfriend in a hug because we connect on that level. I don't see skin color, V, or race. That's weird.
Yeah, but that's not my position. I do see skin color and I do see race. It's just that I don't care about legislating based on it. Okay, so let's assume that you listen to a lot of debates with the alt-right, that there is a Jewish problem according to them. Do you think there is, or do you think there isn't?
Do I think there's a problem with the alt-right?
No. Do you think there is a Jewish problem? Yes or no? Because the alt-right keeps saying there is. Well, what is your stance on it?
I don't know. If I
talked about my political beliefs.
You want me to answer you? You got to let me answer you.
Okay.
I would say if you're looking at the world and you're looking at the positions of power which influence the world, and if you were to come to the conclusion that a small minority of people have a disproportionately high amount of positions within financial or political institutions, I'd say that, yeah, you could probably address that as a problem.
Okay.
But I wouldn't know. I don't see race, V, so I don't know. Are there a lot of Jews?
That's a fair assessment. I'm not contradicting you. That's a fair assessment. My next question.
Have you ever heard of a cancer cluster?
Oh, hold on. My next question.
Wait. Let me follow this up. Have you ever heard of a cancer cluster?
Yes.
When you have an abnormally high amount of cancer patients in a specific region, what do people do? Well, they start looking around for what might be causing that.
Okay.
Are there power lines overhead? Are you near a nuclear plant facility? Because you shouldn't have such a disproportionately high amount of cancer in an area that doesn't statistically add up. I don't know. That would be my observation.
Okay, so I have a question for you, right? You notice that there's a cancer cluster according to you, and you notice that Jews are a problem. What would your solution to this problem be? Because this is where myself and the alt-right disagree.
Do you want me to give you possible solutions or a final solution?
Just no, a possible solution. Like how would you fix it? Let's say you're in charge of the the strategy to fix this problem with the cancer cluster. What would your solutions be?
Well, I was on Chris Cantwell's podcast, and he asked something similar. We were debating about a different subject, granted, but my solution to him probably would have been almost an accelerationist position. Sometimes you need to let people have what they want so they understand why it's wrong. So you let the world go to shit, and then you stand over the ashes and say, see, faggots, I fucking told you.
Yeah, but the problem is that if I want to raise a family, I don't want to let the world go to shit. And while I agree that your solution would probably work, I mean, yeah, in Sweden, I think it's working. In Sweden, they're letting more and more immigrants to the point where they're starting to melt Viking artifacts and they're rewriting Swedish history. I believe they have a Pakistani person that's in office right now in the government regarding Swedish culture. And according to him, he has no idea about Swedish culture, but he's really good at melting those artifacts and saying that.
I don't know. I mean, if you've got a culture, a group of people that are too weak to defend themselves, do they really deserve to exist? If the Swedes are going to let themselves be written out of history, maybe they should be written out of history.
Yeah, but if I were in Sweden, I would advocate against that.
Well, then I hope you're good at fighting. Otherwise, you're fucked, right?
Well, that is, what isn't an American that said the democracy is won every generation with the blood of the patriots?
The tree of democracy is watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Something to that effect. I don't know. I don't have the quote in front of me. I'm not a professional quote maker, V. I don't browse Reddit enough.
I mean,
are you advocating for a violent revolution?
I'm advocating for protest in Sweden. Like this is what I would advocate for. If I was in Sweden, I would ask for people to rise up against the government, not against the Islamic.
Are people already doing that though?
Not as much as I have seen. There's like small protests, but what needs to happen is like a massive, at least like 10% of the population need to go.
So what if saying I don't like this doesn't work? What then?
Well, I suppose it's up to the Swedish people. Like, what exactly will happen if you have 10%?
If this happened in Romania, V, and you didn't like what was happening,
and
it was just like wait, V. If it was just like Sweden, and you didn't like what was happening, and you said, "Hey, I don't like this,"
yeah, it already happened.
Let me tell you what happened. V, and it didn't work. What would you do?
Well, that's the thing. In Romania, it did work. There was.
I know. I'm asking you the hypothetical of it doesn't work. There are too many people.
Well,
there's a majority of people that don't mind it. And what do you do then?
All right. Well, there is one reason why it can't work. Like if you get, let's say, 20% of the people on the street and they're going in front of the government protesting, right? The government has to respond. It can either respond by getting down and then it's working, or it can respond by sending people to open fire on its own citizenship, or like start violent cracking against the people, which you see in Venezuela. So in Venezuela, yeah, I think that people have a right to fight back against the oppressive government.
What if no, V. Let's take government violence out of it. Let's say you've got a majority that's established within a community, a country. Let's say Romania, hypothetically. Let's say the demographics change tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, V, I know you don't like it, but we're going to be a caliphate now. And also lesbians run the government. And you're like, hey, guys, I don't like that. I find a problem with it. And they're like, guess what, V? We're 70%. Nobody gives a shit what you think. You're 30%. And the government didn't get violent with you. They let you march around like retards. They didn't give a fuck. What are you going to do?
First of all, I don't think that can happen peacefully. Like there would be cultural clashes before you get 70% of people that want to have a caliphate. And secondly, I don't think if 30% of people would start marching, like what is 30% of America, by the way?
Yeah, but you're saying they're doing it peacefully. V, you're saying they're doing it peacefully. So, okay, 30% march, and you guys march around in circles. Welcome to Occupy
that would not
Wall
happen.
Street.
Like
welcome to Occupy Wall Street. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think that situation that you have talked would happen. But I mean, what can you do if you have 30%? At that point, even if you were to, let's say, do what the Venezuelans or people in Brazil did and start like violent protests and shit like that, you will be cracked down. Like you have 70% of the nation that's against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the minority now. You went from the majority, and now you are the minority. Yeah.
Right, but the way you're using this, like, do you believe, for for instance, that this minority would only be racial? Like, because what the alt-right says is, for instance...
No, I said caliphate. Muslim isn't a race.
Well, Muslims aren't a race. Muslims are an ideology, which is...
Muslims are a religion. It's Islam. So what I'm saying is...
Yeah, religion and ideology, yeah.
Yeah, it's a caliphate, so it's not racial. So I'm asking you, unless you're Muslim, I don't know. Are you Muslim?
No. But my solution... So it's a good thing you brought it up. Like, my solution is to advocate for free speech before you get this thing to happen, because the reason Islam is starting to infiltrate and subvert nations like Sweden is because it's illegal to talk against it. I think in Canada, it's illegal to talk against Islam. You're going to be labeled an Islamophobe, and it's against the law. This is because they advocate for the group right of Islam not to be offended. Like, if you are going in a market and you're saying "fuck Muhammad," you're not insulting a particular Muslim. What you are doing is you're insulting Islam as a whole. And I don't think a group...
Yeah, I understand the
interest, right.
I think we're meandering off topic. I'm saying that you find yourself in that situation. Well, maybe Sweden will be in that situation in 10 years. I don't know. Maybe caliphate is an extreme hypothetical. That's fine. But what I'm saying is they want to shift the laws around in a way you don't like. And you're, saying I don't like it doesn't do anything because nobody cares what you like.
Well, the weakness of democracy, and I think Winston Churchill also pointed to this, is an uninformed citizenry. This is like the biggest weakness.
No, the weakness of democracy is even when they're informed, they're stupid.
Well, I guess I keep hearing this opinion that the people are uneducated, right? But the thing is that the people in power are from the people, so therefore they're also uneducated. Like the idea of a group of people leading the nations that are enlightened and they're much smarter than everyone else and they can see better than everyone is horseshit.
Are you talking about those Ivory Tower East Coast elites, V? Are we getting back into the academia discussion? Who would be funding them, I wonder?
Well, I do think that there is a huge problem with the leadership as well. There are people who say, okay, let's have a monarchy or something like that. And I don't think that's a solution because nothing's stopping the monarch from being retarded as well or from serving his own interests. I mean, Saudi Arabia is a monarchy.
Wait a minute. Is one of the Don's capos telling me he doesn't want to just be the Don, but the king? What are you telling me? Monarchy? Who's running the monarchy?
Well, I think Richard Spencer is.
Oh, is he? I thought that was in space, V. I thought he was establishing space.
So I'll have to establish, like, if I've got the monarch, I'll have to establish trade relationships with the lunar colony. I mean, I personally am all in favor of monarchy if I get to be the king. I'm not going to say no. Like, if you vote for monarchy and you put me in charge, all of a sudden I will give you the best points for monarchy. I will start to see the way.
V, I think the crux of the failure here is that you're assuming that just because you go out and inform people and say, hey, stuff's happening we don't like, that they're going to be like, oh my God, the YouTubers have told me this and I was completely unaware of it. Whereas they probably were partially aware of it, or they're just apathetic altogether to it because you haven't put it into terms that really affect them. Because you aren't speaking to them in ways that they are familiar with. You want to go in and try to take this, well, it's collectivism, right? And it's a group identity, and that's what the problem is. But you're talking to people that are in a group identity. So they're going to listen to you go on about this, and they're going to be like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about, whatever.
Well, for instance, like if I were to talk, and I did say this on the previous stream, so I'm sorry if I bore people with it, but if you talk against immigration, right, and you will have different arguments against immigration. You can have the cultural argument, you can have the economic one, and you can have the race one. And if you go around and you tell people, okay, the economic argument makes sense because it appeals to a person's self, right? Like regardless of the race, regardless if the person is a Muslim or not, he needs to get money in order to pay his rent and to put the food on the table for his family. So you're going to get a lot of people with this argument. You're going to get a lot of white people. You're going to get a lot of minorities. And the media constantly says, well, the people who are against immigration are doing this because they're racist. And you also expose the media for being unhinged because you're like, no, we're doing this for the economy. Now, when you do the race argument and you say, well, we want brown people to stop coming in because they're brown, what happens is that people who are brown and are in the country, they're going to be like, holy shit, I'm brown as well. The only reason they don't want immigrants is because they hate brown people. But what if they hate me next? So they will start advocating for more immigration because they will be like, we need a buffer against these races so that I can defend myself and my family. So they will start advocating for immigration. And the media who constantly says everyone who's against immigration is an unhinged racist, they will be like, oh, look, there you go. So, I think people should be aware that there's different tactics that you can use in order to obtain your goal. And using the tactic that's the most legal and the tactic that's the most acceptable is not only going to get more people on your side, but it's also going to be more effective than fighting completely against the system. Because I think the SJW is the reason they became the main culture, is because they worked with the system rather than against it.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to go to sleep here. All right. So I know you wanted to talk about.
It's not for everyone. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. So you establish your group. You're against this. You want to get the word out. And what?
Well,
what next?
Okay,
what does that do?
All right, I will tell you. The best that can happen is that more YouTubers and what other people gather up, and it starts growing. The worst that can happen is that nothing is happening. Like, it doesn't grow. It remains the way it is. But I get to meet some of my subscribers, and I get to travel into other countries and meet people who watch my channel. I know you're not into that, but honestly, if you would ever be there and meet your own fan base, you would see the I should say the excitement on your fans to finally get to meet you. And if you're not into that, that's fine, but I am. So.
Oh, fucking shit, man. We're from such different worlds, V. Jesus Christ.
I don't think that everyone is supposed to be the same, which is why when someone says that he talks in the name of white people and he talks in your name and my name, I'll be like, holy fuck, me and Jim are in complete different worlds. What the fuck are you talking about? You're trying to unite us based on skin color. Like, fuck off.
Well, you're doing the same. I mean, you're going to people and saying that, hey, you're being targeted because you're not a brown person. Right?
No, I'm going to people and I'm saying that it's not their economic interest. Like, they will legitimately have
when they say it's not my
economic
interest, but they're going to ask you, why am I being targeted? What are you going to tell them?
Well, I will show them the economic reality of getting more immigrants.
That's economic reality. Jobs. When John on the street says, V, I hear everything you're saying, but why are they coming after me? Why are they coming after John, the white guy on the street?
Well, I will simply point out that they're not coming after you. They're coming after your nation. And if your nation does poorly, then you do poorly. It's a fact. No, it is a legitimate truth. If you live in America...
Does this tie back into those globalist Jews, V?
If you want to make the globalist Jew argument and get more people on your side, more power to you. If you think that this is the winning hand, if you think that this argument is going to get most people to join your cause and say, yeah, you know what, this is right, and take this shit off the internet and actually go on.
Can I address something I've seen pop up in your chat? Because they're just talking a lot. AGP Keith 33. I'm Jim Metokur. You're all dumb. You don't get it. You're cringe, lols. And repeat. Okay. Yeah, listen, Reddit. You're a bunch of fucking faggots. And this is dumb as shit. And if you can't realize that, I'm sorry, but you're going to be a punchline in 3 years. Just like fucking Chinology was. Just like Kekistan was. Just like Occupy Wall Street was. And, I'm sorry, that's the fucking reality. You can run around. Wait, V. I'm addressing your chat. Not you. I'm addressing your chat. If you want to LARP on the internet, I'm going to fucking laugh at you. I don't give two shits how insightful and important you think the dumb shit you're doing is. I'm going to laugh at you because you are cringe.
But I think
I love that they don't like that word. It's cringy, Reddit. You're cringy as fuck. Okay, V, back to your discussion.
I think we established that your preferred outcome is for things to accelerate and for people to see it's shit, right? So you're not...
No, I gave you a hypothetical solution. You were asking me a hypothetical situation.
Okay. But based on...
Nobody asked me about my politics, V. You're asking me hypotheticals. You're not saying, Jim, what is your politics, Jim? You're saying, here's a hypothetical situation. What would be a possible solution?
Okay, tell me if I'm wrong. You're a conservative, right-wing constitutionalist. Would I be wrong with this?
I've described myself as more of a Cicero than a Caesar. Yeah, I like the Republic. But in an ideal world, I'd probably be an imperialist.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, isn't America already an empire? It's just culturally?
No. I'm not talking about cultural imperialism, V. I'm talking actual imperialism. But Americans are fat and lazy, so that would be hard to pull off.
Yeah, but do you know the problem?
See, if you had a meritocracy, which people don't think is something that can function, and they're right, it can't with a social safety net. But if you create a dog-eat-dog, if you create a dog-eat-dog world where it's up to you to succeed or fail, and you don't have welfare, and you don't have food stamps, and you don't have socialized medicine, where if you fuck up, you just die. Welcome to the empire.
I guess you're a little bit more radical than my position on welfare, because I think welfare is good as a safety net. Like, you don't want people revolting on the streets because they're starving. But at the same time, I don't think welfare should guarantee a person's a social life. Like, it should just be a safety net for them to live until they get another job. So the way I would try to do it is by slowly removing the financial part of the welfare and adding more food slowly, so that when the worker comes up and he notices that he got a major tax decrease, he might actually be willing to support that.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again?
Okay, so the problem with welfare is that people are able to have a social life rather than just survive until they get the next job. Because I think this is the idea that welfare started. It's like, it's a safety net. So if you want to remove it, the way to do it would be to slowly remove the monetary aspect of it and replace it with food, to the point where people have a motivation, if they want a social life, to get a job.
I think all organisms that exist probably prioritize the most reward for the least amount of effort. I don't think that's a radical thing to say.
Yeah.
And I think people follow that not just on a biological level, but a cultural one. And if you create a society in which they can subsist by doing nothing, they will subsist by doing nothing. Whether or not they have a social life is irrelevant. If I can get my bills paid and I can get food and I can get medicine and I don't ever have to work or contribute or do anything ever at all, why wouldn't I do that?
Because you'd probably want a girlfriend. And in order to get a girlfriend, you'd have to get out on a date. And going out on a date is expensive.
I don't know, V. You could fuck somebody else that's in the exact same situation.
I don't know. I suppose. I don't know if you would be able to completely remove welfare and get away with it. And even if you would, you'd probably have riots on the street. People that are, starving and they're having food riots, and I don't think this would look good on any nation. You'd get international sanctions if you try to pull this shit off.
So it's globalist again, is it?
Well, you do live in a global environment. It's not globalism, but other nations will try to take any advantage to make your nation not prosper economically and get their dominance over yours.
Well, I mean, maybe you should let them have less of an influence over you. I mean, you're talking about America, right? Well, V, we're talking about America. Let's, in my hypothetical empire.
Okay.
What is the world going to do to us? We've got 10,000 nukes. What the fuck is Romania going to say to me that I give a shit about?
Well, it's not Romania that's going to say something to you, but...
Oh, no, not the EU.
Yeah, I mean, Angela Merkel, who wants to build the EU army, might start saying, okay, we need to stop supporting Americans and have economic sanctions against them. I don't know, but...
Oh my God, an army comprised of nations that couldn't win a war by themselves and needed America to help. Yeah, that's cute.
But ever since the invention of the nukes, I don't think first world countries have really gone to war with each other. It's usually economic sanctions. It's usually just done over politics and culture. Like, okay, you talk about imperialism. I think Romania is an American colony. Like, the moment we tried to impeach our president, you had the American ambassador coming in here and say, no. And immediately everyone is like, okay, we can't do it. So, it's like, everything we consume is American. American movies, American music.
But I'm confused, Pete. I thought Romania was a based civic nationalist country. How is it not a heaven over there and that you can't do everything you want to do?
Bitch, why do you think I'm doing what I'm doing? It's because it's not a civic nationalist country. It's an American and European Union cocksucking country. Like anything the EU declares, like the Romanian president says, we're not going to take immigrants. And then Merkel comes, you will take immigrants. And then the Romanian president's like, you know what? We have negotiated between 5,000 to 10,000 immigrants that are going to come here. It's like, no, it's not. It's not a civic nationalist country. It's a American and EU colony, the way I view it.
Oh, so you can't elect your own president?
We can elect our own president,
but
every time but
do you have civil rights?
We do have rights. We do have rights, but it seems that on matter of important state issues, whenever an important decision needs to be taken, the Romanian president goes to the American embassy to have a word if it's halal or haram.
Well, that doesn't sound to me like Romania is not civic nationalist. That just sounds like maybe Romania is a bitch. Maybe not be a bitch to the EU, V. Maybe grow some balls as a country. I don't know.
Well, Romania is a small nation, and it's always going to be trapped between empires. I mean, it was between the Russian, the German, the Poland, and the Hungarian Empire. So Romania always had to play ball with other foreign powers in order to basically survive. But I wish they would have more of a spine, though. I honestly wish that we... And here's the thing, right? When all the culture that you're consuming is American, and you get that America is the best shit ever, when the American when the American ambassador comes up and tells you no, you can't do that, people don't riot because it's like, oh, the Americans, they certainly know something. They must know what's up about democracy if they're coming up and they're telling our president that he's not being democratic.
I don't know. Maybe we're just fucking, awesome. Maybe America's just awesome and you guys just love our shit. Maybe you just like to kneel down before us because we're American.
I do think America is awesome. I do think that out of all the world hegemons, there's going to be, one that stands above the rest. And I prefer America over China. I prefer America over Saudi Arabia. I prefer America over Russia any day. I think you guys show a lot of restraint being the world hegemon. And I do think that America is a really great nation despite all of its problems.
Well, fantastic. This conversation has meandered off topic from what we were originally doing.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to. It was that guy in the chat, wasn't it?
Well, no, you wanted to talk about the liberalism-streams, so I stuck around to talk about that. Yeah. I don't know. Did you get it all out of your system? You were trying to upsell me on this. What was there anything else?
I completely understand. I mean, the way I view it, you're the type of person that doesn't want to get involved, which is fine. But I'm the type of person that want to get involved. I don't want to just sit here and bitch and complain about issues. I actually want to do something. I don't think that what I'm doing is going to change anything, but I'm going to try. By myself, I won't be able to do it. If other people want to.
Well, I mean, my personal opinion on why, again, it's dumb internet shit. But aside from that, when it comes to real change in the world, it's always come about through violence.
Usually, yes, but after violence, you have tyrannical regimes that appear, and only after a while do the people.
That's weird. I'm pretty sure America stayed a republic after we massacred British soldiers and declared ourselves independent.
I guess, but that was a war, right?
What do you think I mean by violence, V?
People picking up guns and shooting. I guess. All right, no, fair enough. I thought you meant violence from the inside, right? Like killing your own people and shit. But yeah,
well, we were killing our own people. We were a British colony.
I think you managed to create the idea of nationalism and that people in America aren't British; they're Americans.
I just think it's naive. If you think it's as systemic of a problem,
I mean, okay, before
I don't think words are going to be your solution. That's my honest assessment of what you're dealing with.
I mean, if you want to do, if other people want to do violence, I will look at the news and I will see the untrained white militia.
People saying MLK and Gandhi in your chat. Remind me, weren't MLK and Gandhi? Didn't they both get shot in their fucking heads? And didn't India and Pakistan break away from each other along fucking religious divisions?
Well, the thing is,
how did that work out?
If people wanted the violence, I guess I will look at the news and I will see the poorly outtrained white militia has engaged with the military army. You have the best military army in the world. I'm really interesting to see how that pans out, how La Revolution takes over. If I wouldn't do it personally. I think I will stick with words. I think they will be a little bit more effective. I mean,
I'm sure when the enemy forces surround you with guns and you tell them, "Hey guys, I've got some words for you," it'll work out well.
Well, the thing is, people are using words against us right now. Like Berkeley University, for instance, you don't want to talk about the fact that it lost a lot of money and that a lot of teachers got fired because it was exposed. Don't you think worse did that?
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you think that? Do I think that Berkeley getting exposed?
No, I asked you. Like, don't you think that exposing Berkeley University did a good job in fighting progressivism? And getting the teachers that were training.
Yeah, you're talking about one institution amongst a systemic problem, right? So no, I don't think it did a good job.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking that other universities need to follow the Berkeley path. Other universities need to be exposed. Other people.
There are like what 30,000 universities in the U.S.
Well, how many people are in the U.S.? If at least half of the people that are university are talking against their own universities when they see shit, yeah, I think you can.
But they aren't though.
They aren't, yeah, and maybe they should. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't think getting YouTubers together in real life is going to change that. Is what I'm saying.
I think it's just one cog in the bigger picture. It's maybe sure.
And the 20-year secret plan.
20-year secret plan. Well, it's better than JF's 500-year plan.
I haven't heard JF's 500-year plan. What's JF's 500-year plan?
That in 500 years the white race is gonna die, so we need to focus on that ethno state and arrange it by then or some shit. I don't want to take him out of context because he's very anal about using the exact words that he is using, but you can watch the stream with me and Arch versus Spencer and JF, and you'll see the 500-year plan.
I don't know. Maybe white people will go make their own enclaves. Didn't they do that in South Africa? Isn't there, what is it, Orania, which is a white-only city? They have their own power, their own water, their own government, their own police force, their own banks, their own businesses.
Yeah, I'm not against people associating with each other. I don't know why people think that's the case.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this in regards to what JF is saying. So maybe there'll be a bigger version of Orania. Maybe the northwestern, whatever the fuck it is, will emerge in Oregon.
The way I feel like Eastern Europe is already white. Like if you're really that anal about getting more white people in America, just stop immigration and start immigration from Eastern Europe. I mean, there's a war in Ukraine. You can get some Ukrainian refugees over there that Germany turned down.
Yeah, I don't think we need more Europeans, bro.
You don't need more Europeans, huh?
Not if they're coming over with the mindset you guys currently have. No, I think we're good.
So what is the correct mindset that Europeans need to come with?
To get into the U.S.?
Yes.
I'd stop immigration as a whole.
I would agree with you. I think you have.
I don't want any more of you fuckers. I want you to stew in your shit so you fix your fucking issues.
You're with Sargon on this though, because I know. Did you follow the debate with him at Anglin?
What debate, V? He wanted to come and talk about Anglin's
the discussion between Sargon and Anglin.
I don't know. All I heard from Sargon was he wanted to talk about does Anglin like ponies? Does he like long walks on the beach?
it was on the issues of immigration. Anglin wanted more white people in America, and Sargon was like, no, one single poll is too many polls. Like he thought that Anglin is cocked on the opinion of immigration. And yeah, I agree. Like if a nation takes a lot of immigrants in, it needs to close the borders and wait for them to assimilate before opening the borders again. I completely agree with what you're saying, that America has too many immigrants.
Yeah, I think there's probably an issue with the influx. I think there are a lot of issues with America that need to be addressed, but they're probably not going to be addressed through the normal political means.
I really miss these videos from you. And I think I said it on another channel because I follow your videos as you put them up. I miss the ones where you talked about Marvel and the ones where you talked about YouTube and Google and the European Union, because you have a way of explaining things in so few words that other people take like 2 hours to do. Like for instance, on race realism. You posted a video with a Chinese guy talking to a black guy in a documentary, and it's like in 4 seconds you just hammered the point for everyone to understand. And,
yeah, Empire of Dust is a good video because it's not coming from a European or a white person. It's coming from the Chinese observing Africans and the state of disrepair the country is in regards to just throwing away shit that they were left from the French and the Dutch and everybody else.
Yeah, and I was criticized because I said that I want you to make more political videos, but I don't think people understood. Like, I don't care what politics you pick. If you want to support the ethno state, go for it. If you don't want to talk about something else,
all I want to do is just laugh at shit. That's all I'm looking to do. I don't have any aspirations to do anything more than that. I'm not looking to get into politics. I'm not looking to fight the good fight. Laughter is cathartic. At the very least, people get 5 minutes where they get a chuckle and they move the fuck on.
Well, for instance, the Google did the Moore lawsuit. What did you find, them talking about how it is to be a multi-planar being in a corporatist environment and how winged dragonkin are being oppressed at Google? Don't you think that would be something interesting and funny?
I don't know. Entertainment's like food, V. If you eat too much of the same shit, you get sick of it. I mean, after talking about SJWs and SJW-related issues for 3 years, I had enough chicken. I want some fucking beef.
Yeah,
so
I
went back to talking about furries. I went back to talking about degenerates. I went back to talking about crazy people because it's entertaining. And the feedback from those communities was actually somewhat interesting because a majority of them thought the same shit. They just wanted to have a fucking laugh at the goofy fucks that were a part of their communities.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. But like a guy reading Marvel or watching Star Trek. As a fan, I'm a little bit disappointed with the change of direction, but I understand your point as well. Like if you don't have fun doing it, I don't think there would be good videos if you don't put your heart in it.
No, I just don't want to stick the same fucking formula because if I don't enjoy it, there's no point. Why? Because it's popular. Trends fucking come and go. Fads end. If you're not doing it because you enjoy it, there's no fucking point. I mean, I know there's money in it. I mean, I could do it and bullshit through my teeth and be like, "Oh my God, guys, look, another blue-haired Tumblrette said something stupid. Everybody, look, the feminist is an idiot." I know you've heard this for 18,000 fucking times, but I'm gonna put the video up because I can get that sweet dosh out of it. But
But that's the
I'd
thing,
rather
right?
I'd rather
I
talk
don't.
about the thing I like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that trivializing this is genuine. I mean, it's not the blue hair feminist. I haven't released a video about the blue hair feminists.
I'm not talking about you. You're asking for my perspective. I did a fucking series called Tumblrism, so I was
Yeah.
talking about blue-haired feminists. And so yeah, it just after a certain point, it's like I
Well,
fucking
I
said
mean,
it already. You know.
the things that I want to talk about, for instance, right now is like the EU building an army, Sweden melting Viking artifacts and shit like that. I mean, I don't think these are blue hair feminist issues. I think they're issues that are very concerning because what will go in Sweden will be the pattern that will follow in other nations. I think Sweden is a really interesting social experiment that we're going to see here in Europe. What happens if progressivism takes the levels it has taken in Sweden?
Well, I would say this, that, I could look at countries, I guess, like I do at people or groups online. I mean, you're outside the norm, V. Usually I wouldn't tell somebody not to keep engaging with groups that are fucking with them. But again, if I saw like a fur fag acting like a retard doing dumb shit and he got his shit pushed in online and I made a funny video laughing at it, I look at Sweden the same way. If they want to be the dumb fur fag that lets their shit get pushed in, then they deserve it, and I'm going to laugh at it. I don't want to intervene and tell them shit they should already know. Like, if they're that defeated already that they can't stand up for themselves, that they need me, an American, to tell them, hey, retard, your country's falling apart, then maybe they do deserve to go away. Maybe they should go extinct.
Well, look, another country that's going apart is Germany. They have this movement, 120 decibels, where German women are doing what you're saying, and they're on the streets, trying to fight for their rights because they had like a rape that was so brutal that the chief of police said he's never saw anything as brutal in his entire life. Right? It's this old man that has always been in the police force. So something that is like watching the old gods. He saw the tentacles and shit, and it was like Jesus fucking Christ. So women go up on the streets. They raise awareness of this issue. They are called the Nazis, obviously, and Antifa comes up and stops them. Right? They blockade the women. They throw with piss bottles or shit at them, and eventually the police has to call the march off because it was getting a little bit violent. And after that, the police thanks Antifa for breaking up this hateful march, and they're saying that the people who don't like Germany can always emigrate. And I'm watching this and it's like, holy fucking shit, right? And these women who are doing the march, they're being censored on social media. They're not allowed to talk in Germany. In fact, Germany just passed a law that any video that's being reported or social media that's being reported in 24 hours needs to go down. And I want to talk against this shit. I'm not going to change it, obviously, but hopefully someone that can have the power to change it can see that this is an issue and do something about it. I don't know. This is the only thing I can do. Like, well, what else can I do? If there's something that I really believe shouldn't exist.
Well, you could join Richard Spencer's ethno-state in space, or you could get physically fit and learn how to shoot a gun and march in the streets. I don't know, but I'm talking from my perspective. It's like I just don't find an interest in it, and I'm of the personal opinion that at this point, if a nation or a people can't pull themselves out of the gutter, they put themselves in there. They deserve to be there. I think that lifting them up, if they're that dumb enough to fall into that situation, it's there's a point where you're like, I can't pity you anymore.
I get what you're saying. The problem is that Germany affects my nation, and I didn't vote for Merkel. This is the main issue that I have, the main contention with the flaw in what you're saying.
No, I understand that. You're in a fuck situation. But I already did a video on the EU, and I explained my opinions on it, and I explained what I thought was going to happen, which did.
Your video uncocked me on the EU. I was really pro-EU before that. I finished law school, and all they did was EU propaganda, like how amazing the EU is, and it's the greatest shit on earth, and how it's going to unite the world peacefully. And after that, I saw your video, and I was like, like, well, maybe the dream I've been sold was a lie. And then I saw another YouTuber, Ghost of Voltaire, and another video on the EU, and then I became really against the EU. So, like it or not, you did change a person's mind with the right to vote in a different nation than you, who's now doing the same thing, is trying to inform people on what the EU really is.
Well, Romania could leave. I mean, don't tell me you can't.
No. We can. No. That's not the issue. We can leave, but I don't know if it's going to be better because the moment you leave, there's going to be massive EU sanctions towards Romania, and there's also going to be massive sanctions from Russia. So the only way,
the only power the EU has is the fact that it exists. If multiple nations decide we're fucking done with it, then what is the EU left with? Germany?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Romania should leave after more nations leave. It shouldn't be the second nation to leave the EU. Because the First Nations that will leave are going to be treated as disgustingly possible to make other nations be afraid of leaving. And Romania doesn't have the economy to be able to withstand that. It would have to be nations like the United Kingdom, for instance, who can actually give the middle finger to the EU.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're what? Yeah, I don't even know if you're over the tipping point at this point. I mean, aren't you? You're coming out with a centralized military, and you've got people voting that weren't even elected. I don't know what the fuck you guys are going to do.
Yeah. It's going to be nasty. I regardless, you know. I hope that me talking. You're saying it's not doing a lot. But I do hope it will at least get people to understand the issue.
I'm saying if you really want change, again, maybe a few more beer hall pushes rather than YouTube videos. You get me? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what if the La Revolución comes after I'm dead? What exactly do those pushes?
Well, they'll have a little V for Vor on their shoulder, and they'll remember you as they march into the streets.
Well, here's the question, right? Let's say I do have a well-trained army, right? And what exactly do I do? I mean, do I go? Who do I point my guns towards?
Well, who are the people that you would perceive as being the issue, V?
I guess the politicians, right?
Well, that's who you'd point the guns at, wouldn't you?
All right. And I point the guns at the politicians, but the politicians are elected, so everyone that's not in the La Revolución are going to defend the politicians, and they're going to label me as a terrorist group.
I hope you have a lot of guns.
We don't have any guns in Romania, though.
Don't tell me it's not possible to overtake a more powerful force. We did it. We stood up against the world empire and won. So you can very well do it if you really want.
I can tell you what Romanians did. When they were planning this refugee center in Transylvania, what the people of Transylvania did, they went with axes and pitchforks towards the city hall, and they found out that the old man center that they were building was actually a refugee center, and they said there will be violence if you guys don't stop this shit. Right, take it somewhere else. We're going to defend our children. You're not going to bring people in here without our permission, without being. You weren't elected to do this, and they came with axes and pitchforks, and they said, like, yeah, there will be violence. So the government just said, okay, fine.
So the government responded when the threat of violence was issued.
Yes, but the thing is, there was no violence. It was just the threat. So if you would manage to get 30% of the people outside, I think the government would step down. I don't think it would open fire on its own people.
Well, there's your goal, V. Get 30% of the population and arm them.
It doesn't even have to be armed. Like another government fell in Romania. There was this massive fire in a club where a lot of people died because and basically what people went and protested against the government because they found different bribes and corruption going on, which allowed this to happen. And the government just stepped down. And like there was no violence. This is what I'm saying. Peaceful protest can work. I know you said that violence is what changes it, but before you get to violence, I think peaceful protest should be the logical first step.
Well, that's very noble of you, but history is written in blood, V.
Well, that is true. But sometimes peaceful protest also writes history.
I'd say twice out of 10,000, maybe.
Well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Is it weird that I'm not excited about my people dying? Is it? do I need to get pumped up and say, yeah, we need corpses? I mean, we just went through communism. A lot of people died for that shit. I don't know. I prefer.
I don't know. I mean, do you like being the bitch of the EU?
Well, I don't like being the bitch of the EU, but I would like to try diplomacy before doing the more heavy-handed option.
Didn't Chamberlain try diplomacy? How did that work?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Well, the British managed to go through Brexit, didn't they? I mean, I heard recently they even have a date set for it.
Yeah, they haven't been fucked yet, though, have they? Those sanctions and trade agreements and I don't even know what to travel between countries, like all that shit. I'm sure. Okay. What the fuck, man? Did your vibrator hit high? You were watching? What happened? Spook you a little?
How many people are watching this live stream?
You've got 2,500 watching.
Jesus Christ. Okay, we're going to be gifts with this shit.
God, you're saying my position hit your ass so hard you fell out of your chair?
I would like to have this superpower that you have, just like flinch people when
You need to calm down there, V. The violence hasn't started yet. Jesus Christ, I hope you never handle a gun. Holy shit.
Well, I can. Is this now the time where I come with a shitty excuse? Because this is part of the custom, right? When you fuck something, eventually.
No, you just roll with it. It's embarrassing. You laugh it off and move on.
Yeah. No, I need to bring the excuse because it's my girlfriend fucked with the chair settings.
There you go. There you are.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to pull a Costanza here. I'm going to end on a high note, and I don't think we're going to top that. So it's been a fun discussion, G. You can pound through some more super chats once I pop out, but
I will.
Back to my original advice. Really, consider it and consider doing it because you just don't keep engaging.
Mate, I honestly enjoyed having you here. I thought it was a really productive discussion, and I thank you for coming on my channel.
All right, take it easy, V.